Hello and welcome. My name is Bry'Anne, and today's class is going to focus on our malasana, crow, floating frog, or tripod headstand. So if you've caught the other flows in this series, you're in good shape. You're going to know what we're doing, what we're all about. If not, follow along, have fun with it, and make everything your own. It's the most important thing. So let's start towards the center, maybe back of our mat in a child's pose. I'm going to start with my knees together if I can, big toes touching, arms extending out in front, crawling fingertips forward, getting some length along our side body, maybe adding a little bit of movement if you need that movement. And just letting our body know that, hey, we're going to start moving around. So let's shift forward a little bit, tuck our toes under, send our hips back once again. Really start to grip the mat with your fingertips here. With your breath in, let's come forward. We want our shoulders to come just beyond our wrists. We should feel a stretch in our forearms, fingertips really gripping the floor here. And send your hips back toward your heels. So take a breath in, chin comes toward your chest as you roll forward once again. Nice long spine through the crown of our head. And then hips back toward your heels. And again, let's bring it forward, grip that mat, maybe float your knees up this time. And then let your knees come down, hips come back. 2 more times, float forward, knees up, nice and strong, hips come back. And last one, find that float, find that lift, and then send your hips back. You can untuck your toes, bend through your elbows, maybe bring your hands to the back of your head, roll out your wrists if you need to, or bring your hands to your knees and take a moment in this kneeling position to recenter, reset, find that little break, little moment in between that work that we were doing before you come back into your child's pose, toes tucked under. This time, let's float and hover our knees right here. Chin comes in toward our chest. Let's find that shift forward, coming into our plank. Shift your weight into those fingertips and then bend those knees, hips toward your heels, straighten through your legs, downward facing dog. Let's roll it forward. Find that plank. Bend through your knees, hips to heels, and straighten through your legs, downward facing. And once more, float forward. Bend, hips back, straighten, and we'll stay here. Step your feet in towards one another. As you take a breath in, give that right heel a float up toward the ceiling. Come up high on the ball of your left foot and bend your right knee, stack your hip open. Let's square back up, extend that right leg, and draw your knee in towards your nose. Get it up as tight as you can to your chest as you shift your weight into those fingertips. And let's inhale, send it back up. Exhale, draw it in, tight as you can. Maybe you can tap your tricep, back of your arm. Let's inhale, lift it up. And last one, draw it in, tuck it close, and step forward, replace your right hand. We're gonna scissor our inner thighs together and arms rise up. Alanasana, crescent lunge. Take a deep breath in, cactus through your arms. Follow that circle around. Replace your hands down on the floor and then send your right heel back up towards the ceiling. Bend, stack your hip open and square back up. Let your right toes come down next to the left. Inhale, left heel's gonna lift up. Bend your knee, stack your hip, and let's square back up. Extend that leg. Rise up high on the ball of your right foot and draw your knee in toward your nose. Strong press away of the floor here. Inhale, lift it up. And exhale, pull it in. Close that gap. And last one, lift it up. Pull it in. Can you tap your tricep for just a moment? And then step forward. Replace that left thumb. Scissor your inner thighs. You can have a bend in your back knee if you need to. Inhale, rise up. Halanasana, crescent lunge. Exhale, cactus through those arms. Press your chest forward. Follow through with that circle. Hands find the mat. Send your left heel back up high. Bend your knee. Stack your hip open. And let's square back up. Left toes find the mat. Inhale as you roll forward, coming into that plank. Gonna lower down into a chaturanga this time. So if you need to put your knees down, feel free to do so. Bend at those elbows, lower down, one piece. Inhale, cobra, roll your shoulders back. Gaze goes out in front. And exhale, bend through your knees, tuck your toes under, send your hips high, downward facing dog. Let's step our feet in toward one another. And as you take a breath in, lift your right heel up, rise up high onto the ball of the left foot, bend that knee, draw it in toward your chest, and step forward to replace your right hand. Scissor and lift, Alanasana crescent lunge. This time we're gonna open up. So our back heel comes down. I'm gonna pivot on my front heel, so my toes are both facing the left side. We're in a star pose, taking up all of that space. You can interlace your thumbs if you would like, and we're taking a big circle toward the back of our mat. So soft bend through our knees, crown of the head comes down, fingertips glide across our mat, and then we have to pivot back to face the front. So I'm rotating on the heel of my front foot, ball of my back foot, hands are coming on the inside of my right leg for a runner's lunge. My inner right knee is hugging my outer right arm. Let's shift forward, weight in those fingertips, and step to the outside of our left hand with our left leg. Sit your hips down for a malasana, yogi squat. So some of us might be here today. This might be where we're staying. That is fine. If you want to float, if you want to challenge yourself with me, follow on along. So my hands are going to come out in front. They're sort of in a W shape, turned out ever so slightly. I'm going to lift up, press the floor away, fingertips super active, and I like to bring my toes in toward one another. I'm going to find those little nooks behind my arms. Keep shifting, keep looking out in front. Maybe float one toe, maybe float the opposite toe. Ha! Toes come back down, straighten through your legs, forward fold, heel toe together if you have some space in between your feet. And let's inhale, lift it up halfway, nice flat back, roll those shoulders down away from your ears. And exhale, fold it forward. Inhale to rise, arms come up above you. And exhale, cactus through your arms, and then let your hands come behind your head. Let's take a breath in, pull your elbows toward the back of the room. And as you exhale, bend through your knees, elbows are finding tops of your thighs. Let's inhale, open it up. And exhale, draw everything in towards center. And once more, inhale, open. And exhale, pull it in. This time as we inhale and open up, our right heel is going to come in toward our glute. Wonderful. We're going to follow that circle around, taking a big step back with the right foot. Hands are going to find the mat, and then we sweep our left heel in toward our glute and up toward the ceiling. Bend your knees, stack your hip open, and then square back up and take that step forward into your crescent lunge on the left. Scissor and rise up, Alanasana. We're going to pivot to the right side. So my back heel comes down, my front toes come up, and I pivot on that heel. You can interlace your thumbs if you would like, as we take a big circle around toward the back of our mat, gliding across the front and finding our pivot back into our runner's lunge. Hands plant down, strong plant. If you need to heel toe that front foot out to the side so that you have room for your hands to create that solid base, feel free to do so. We're going to shift our weight forward and then step to the outside of our right hand with our right foot. Now you might stay here today, totally fine. If you want to take that crow, plant those hands, shift the weight forward, float your toes. You can also take a little tripod headstand here. So what I like to do is bring my chin in toward my chest, shift forward, let the crown of my head find the floor, and then float my toes up. So you have options. Let's come on out, find your forward fold, heel toe the feet in until your big toes are touching. Inhale, lift it up halfway, and exhale to fold it forward. Let's rise up to standing, arms come up and over. And exhale, cactus through those arms and bring your hands behind your head. Let's close everything off, knees in toward the tops of our thighs, and then open it back up. Breath in and breath out as we make ourselves more compact. Breath in to open, and breath out to close. This time as we open up, our left heel comes in toward our left glute. We follow the circle around with our arms, send that left leg back behind us. Hands come down to the floor. Your right heel comes in toward your right glute, and then lift that leg up toward the ceiling. We're gonna bend our knees, stack our hips open. You have the option to flip this time. So you might stay in that stack, or right toes find the ground. If they find the ground, let your hips come down. And as you take a breath in, press into these 3 points. Left hand, blade edge of your left foot, and your right foot as you circle your right arm over and send your hips high. Deep breath in here, and exhale to sit it down. We'll do this 2 more times. Inhale, find that lift up, and exhale, close it off. And once more, inhale to lift, and exhale to close. With your next breath in, we're going to lift up, pivot, and step our right foot up to replace our right hand. Scissor your inner thigh, strong base first, and breath in, high lunge. With your breath out, find your star pose, and then follow that circle around toward the back of our mat, across the front, into our runners. Shift your weight forward, strong through those fingertips. Step up, Malasana. Stay or play, take your version today. Come on out, forward fold, heel toe in. Breath in to rise. And breath out, hands behind your head. Breath in here. And breath out, close off. Take a breath in, open, right heel in toward your glute. Follow your circle around. Take your step back. Sweep your left heel in and up toward the ceiling. Bend your knee, stack the hip, and flip your dog. Hips come down to the floor, and then press down in those 3 points. Left foot, right blade edge of the foot, right hand. Circle up, hips driving up, shoulder blades squeezing together, and then sit it back down. Do this 2 more times. Breath in to rise, strong through those fingertips. Breath out to sit it down. And once more, lift it up. And sit it down. This time we're lifting and flipping. So hand finds the mat, knee comes into the chest, and step up. Crescent lunge. Back heel down, straighten, pivot through your front leg, and follow your circle around, finding your runner's lunge to the front. Keep that shift forward and step up. Malasana, tripod, or crow pose, your choice. And then hands back down to the mat, toes down, heel toe in, forward fold, rise it up. Hands come behind the head, take a breath, pull those elbows back, and exhale, knees and elbows come toward one another. As we inhale to open, left heel in toward our glute, follow your circle around, generous step back, plant the hands, right heel in, right heel rises. We're gonna flip it right over this time. Hips down first, and then circle it up. Let's sit it down, and on this circle, we're flipping ourselves back over. How slow can you go? Step up, Alanasana, right into our star. Circle towards the back of your mat. Follow through, pivoting to the front, runner's lunge. Shift and step. Find your inversion today. Strong press through the hands. Feet come down, heel toe in. Find your fold. Inhale to rise. Hands behind the head. Breath in as we draw those shoulders back, elbows behind us. And breath out, bend, compact. Let's inhale, open back up. Left heel in toward our glute. Follow your circle around. Step it back, plant your hand, right heel in, right heel lifts. Bend your knee, stack open, flip, and square back up. Step it forward. Breath in to rise. Pivot into your star circle. Pivot to face the front. Step outside of the hand. sit it down. Option to stay, option to play. Foot comes down, forward fold, heel toe back in, rise up to standing, swimmer arms here. Exhale, close everything off. Inhale, open, right heel in toward our glute. Exhale, take your step back. Sweep the left leg high. Bend and stack. Flip your dog. Hip comes down. One circle up and back down. Flip it back over. How slow can you go? Arms rise straight into our star. Circling around. Pivoting to our runners. Shifting forward. Finding our position of the hands, position of the feet. Lifting our feet up off of the mat. Coming out nice and slow. Heel toe in. Forward fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands behind. Inhale, open those elbows. Exhale and close off. Inhale, lift it up. Right heel comes in toward our glute. Follow your circle around. Step it back. Sweep the left leg high. Bend and stack. Flip your dog. Come back through center. Step it up. Rise. Come through your star. Circle around to the back. Cross the front to your runners. Step forward. Sit it down. Stay or play. Make your adjustments. Toes down. Heel toe in, forward fold. Inhale to rise. And exhale, follow the circle around, hand to the heart, hand to the belly this time. Take a moment and connect with your breath. So if you're breathing out of your mouth, try to breathe through your nose. If you're huffing and puffing, try to slow it down. Lengthen your exhales. If your shoulders are up in your ears, relax them down and back. If your knees are locked out, I want you to put a soft bend in them. Bring your hands down by your sides. Take a breath in as you circle up and over. Exhale, cactus through those arms. Come through a toe stand. So bend your knees, let your heels come up, hips come down. Slow and controlled as you can. Your heels come to the floor, your knees open up. We're coming onto the blade edges of our feet and sitting down. Butterfly, soles of the feet together, knees falling open. Let's sit it up tall. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, bend at those elbows, fold it forward. Maybe take a little rock side to side or thread your arms in that little hole that you made for yourself with your legs. Letting the crown of your head come down toward your feet. Let's come back up into a seat. We're going to bring our right foot in, left leg out. If you want to orient yourself on your mat, if you don't have carpet around you like me, totally okay. Let's sit it up tall as you take a breath in. As you exhale, frame that extended left leg. Make sure you've got a flex through those feet. It's okay if your knee is bent. And then hinge at your hips, folding forward, reaching toward your heel. If you want to begin to straighten through the leg, maybe grab a hold of the foot and pull yourself forward. You are more than welcome to do so. If you feel like your back needs a little bit of a stretch, I want you to bring your chin in towards your chest and round through your back. So create some leverage in that middle part of your spine. So you do you. Let's take a breath in, back it off, and switch it out. So left foot in, right leg out, sit it up tall, square yourself up, extend the arms, folding forward, pulling ourselves in the direction of the toes, straightening the leg as we go, maybe rounding through our back if that's what you need on this side. Might be different from side to side. And releasing, coming back through center, Sending both of our legs out this time. I like to scoop myself forward into it, flex through your feet, take a breath in, get really tall, and then keeping your back as flat as you can, walk your hands out in front of you. Maybe you stay up on fingertips, maybe forearms, maybe you can let your forehead come down. Some of us might be laying it out like a pancake here. Notice what's happening in your toes. If they're coming in, if they're getting relaxed, pull them up, pull them back behind you, and find that length. Find that drive forward with the crown of your head, pulling your shoulders down and back. Your next breath in, let's rise up. I'm going to bring my hands under my knees, give them a little bend and a little shimmy and shake back towards the front of my mat. So this is where we're going to close today. If there's more movement that you'd like to take, if you'd like to take a few moments and spend some more time settling down, you're more than welcome to do so. Or if you're ready to go, that's fine too.